Sunday morning, afternoon, something like that. But hello everybody. This is Elissa from Make Arts and Crafts, and today we are here for my weekly WIP Chat, which is going to be a little bit different because I haven't had a chance to sit still all weekend, so now I am heading out to, I'll explain what I'm doing. So we're going to get like a little bit of like a vlog style as I'm doing some of my driving, because otherwise it's probably going to be another 2 hours before I can start filming. And then once I start filming, it's another hour there. And then I figure, another bit of time, hour or so for me to edit, upload, and get the video good to go for you guys. And by the time you guys then get your, Sunday weekly WIP Chat, it's going to be like 10 p.m. and I don't want to have to wait that long to get it up for you guys. So we're going to do a vlog style as I'm driving in the car. So I hope you guys have been having a wonderful week. It has been a busy week. Today is July 5th. It is Sunday. And like I said, it's been a very busy week. It was a short week at work, which was kind of nice. But also at the same time, when it's a short week at work, it doesn't mean that you have less work to do. It just means you're cramming 5 days of work into like 3.5 days, which is really what happens. This always tends to happen, is you're cramming all of that extra work into just a shorter period of time for work. So, let me check. Okay, Melvin, easy day. Basically, this week, Monday was like, I feel like I've been putting out fires all week long at work. Like, we solve one problem and then something else that comes up that ties into the first problem and makes it continue to be a problem. It's just been like one thing after another nonstop for the last, all week, like the last 3 or 4 weeks, we've had all of these fires that we've been trying to put out and deal with. A lot of it having to do with supplies and being able to have the supplies that we need when what we need for some of what we need is on back order, which means we can't get it. But yes, so it's a process to order things. So we've been going through this whole rigmarole for getting stuff in for radiology department for like contrast CT. Finally get the part one of what we needed, and then something else that we need. It's like, oh, well, now we can't get this. And it's just like, oh my gosh. Which then directly feeds into and impacts the hospital, because if you can't do contrast CT, then there's certain patients that we have to, defer, that we have to basically go on divert for, and we can't see at the hospital. And that's that's unsafe. If you have an emergency room, you have to be able to do certain things, and that's one of them that's required. So it's been a fun job, a fun week, basically. Apologize for the whistle on the whooshy. I have to find a better way of like hanging the camera. That's not like what it is right now. But anyways, so now, but we survived the week. There were definitely like our normal amount of meetings. It wasn't horrible meeting wise. It was the normal amount of meetings. And then Thursday, and like, it was just basically work, more stuff at work. Monday, it was like we had to figure out a solution for. And basically, I have out of all the positions that I had somebody that had given notice back in February. We're in the process of hiring a replacement for this person, but it's not a quick process to get a government job. So it's in that like slow process. They've accepted, and it's just in the, they're a provider. So it's the credentialing process right now. And it just takes so long to do all of this stuff. But, so we have this person identified, but it's probably a couple more months until they start. And then like 2 months ago, another one of my staff members gave notice, because, government jobs are great for, like longevity purposes. But, if your family needs more money right now, they're not really the greatest, because they don't tend to pay as much as what you can get in the civilian sector. So most people don't, work for the government because of the money that they get from it. They work for the government because of like the other benefits and, the potential for getting a pension, that type of thing, as they get closer to retirement. So this particular member, he got like a job in the civilian sector that pays significantly more. And he was like, as much as I hate to do it and I love working here, I have to, it's like he has to do what's right for him and his family, which doesn't faze me. It's just more, I have to come up with the staffing for it. So that's another one that we're going to be in the process of hiring. And then I have another person that works for me who didn't give notice or anything like that, but he's a reservist as well, and he's a reserve Air Force, and the Air Force has been like, we're gonna send you, like right now he's gone for 3 weeks doing something for the Air Force, and then they were like, we're gonna send you for 4 months to go do this thing for 4 months, but they haven't given him the firm yes or no, and until I have like the yes for sure I will be gone for, these are my dates of when I'm gone, I can kind of like make plans, but I can't set anything into action if I don't know for sure yes or no. So we're still waiting on the confirmation of like, is he actually going to be gone for the next 3 to 4 months, or have they decided to pull from somebody else? So we still are kind of in that don't know which way that part's going to go status. But if he's gone, then that leaves, because I'm still waiting on some active duty physical therapists to come in. So like if he's gone, then that means that we're going to be down to 50% manning wise on the physical therapy side of the house. And yet the expectation is always try to like maintain it as like the hospital's expectation is always, maintain patient care kind of a thing. And I'm like, I prefer, there's like 2 commands at the hospital. There's the hospital, and then there's like our expeditionary, like our readiness training side. That side, our commanding officer that just retired, his mentality, I loved his mentality, because it wasn't, everybody's always like, do more with less. And he's like, no, that's not what it should be. It should not be do more with less. It should be do what you can with what you have, which, there you go. You're doing what you can with the assets that you have. So that's kind of like, which is the mentality of what I've always tried to take as well. Because if you just keep trying to do more with less and more with less, regardless of where you work, people are gonna be like, oh, you're doing just fine without these extra bodies that you need, so you don't need them anymore. You don't need them at all. So we'll just continue to, pile on the work for you, and you'll just continue to adapt and do more, which is typically what happens. And that's when people end up getting like all burnt out and stop, and like you have like a spectacular like burnout, flaming, whatever. So that's something that I'm like, no, you can't just continue to do more with less and do more with less, because then at what point, I've said for years, I'm like, what happens whenever someone tells me like they do more with less, I'm like, when is the breaking point? When do you put your foot down and say, no, I cannot do any more than what I'm already doing? This is something that I've maintained this for years. And my mentality is, it's like, if you don't get to your point where like, this is our bottom line, we cannot do this anymore, this is as far as we can go, and you need to find a solution, otherwise X, Y, and Z. But we cannot continue to push and do more. Because if you never like stop that do more with less mentality, it's just going to spiral until all of a sudden the system breaks. And if something like, when we're talking healthcare, if the healthcare system breaks, this patient's life's on the line. So that's something that I'm like, no, we will not be, I never do that do more with less mentality. So we were trying to figure out, okay, what's our solution to do what we can with what we have to try to maximize being able to do our job, which is, taking care of our patients. So I had to, come up with some different solutions and plans for what we'll do if we lose this other person for 4 months. So that's kind of where we're at. Like, work has been it's been a lot that we've been working on with this back and forth to try to make sure that we can have coverage where we need it, when we need it, for the things that we're doing. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at on that aspect. Other than that, I'm trying to think of what else. Other than that, yeah, it's basically been work. Busy at work. I finally got my lawn mowed last weekend, and oh my gosh, it was so hot. Like crazy hot to mow my lawn. I think I mowed my lawn last Sunday. I was going to mow my lawn this evening, but it just started raining, so that's not going to happen. But it was so hot last Sunday. It's like, I normally, when the grass is tall, you don't mow in the morning. When the grass is tall, there goes the rain. Because then you get so much, the grass is so wet that you can't like effectively push the lawnmower through it. So usually when it's something like that, where the grass is that wet, I wait until later in the day, so that way, if I wait later in the day, you guys are going to hear all that rain. I don't know if you can hear it through the microphone. But when you get when you wait until later into the day, the grass is time to dry, but then of course it ends up being hotter. So it's like you either mow first thing in the morning if the grass isn't big, which it's been super wet, so I haven't been able to mow first thing in the morning on the weekends. But then the other time, it's like if you wait until the afternoon, you kind of need to wait until like 6 o'clock in the evening. Otherwise, you run the risk of it being still way too hot, because the hottest time of the day out here is like 2 to 5 p.m. So I was looking at the weather forecast last Sunday, and it was like 88 degrees. It was like 10 a.m. and it was like 88 degrees, and I was looking and it was showing that it's supposed to get hotter. All right, there was a massive rain cloud that I just had to drive underneath. That was like the torrential downpour rain cloud. But anyways, so I was like, if I start mowing now, the grass is going to be super wet and it's going to be more effort, and I'm going to have to mow in, you know, like a specific way, because you can't get through all the layers of grass that you need. But if I wait until later, it's going to be way too hot, because it was supposed to get up to like 96 or 97, and it was still going to be like 95, 96 degrees at like 7 p.m. And I'm like, yeah, no, we're not doing that. So I ended up mowing early it was like 10:15, 10:30 by the time I got outside to mow, and I ended up mowing then, so then I had, you know, the really wet grass that I was having to mow. So it was just like, oh my gosh, so much of a hassle to mow, because I usually try to avoid having to mow the lawn during the week. I try to keep it to just like a Sunday thing. Since I'm not going to get a chance to mow the lawn today, I am going to have to mow the lawn during the week, because I can't go 2 weeks with how rainy it's been lately. But yeah, that was like last Sunday, and then you had the work week, which was, you know, fine, typical, you know, work week. It's amazing. I went through that rain cloud and now it's like there's no rain. Amazing how that works. But anyways, after, yes, and then this week has been like a really, really rough week for me, like as far as migraines. I swear every single day has been a really gnarly migraine day, which I have an appointment with neuro on Monday, and then I get my Botox injections on Wednesday. So hopefully I'll have some relief with that combination of both, and hopefully we'll find, you know, a solution seeing the neurologist and kind of get an idea from there. But yeah, this past week has been brutal for me. So my original plan, I had to go in for at least a few hours Thursday. So my original plan was going to be to pack everything Wednesday night, and then leave around lunchtime on Thursday and drive back to the house, pick up the cats, load the car, and then head over to my parents' house to spend, you know, the holiday weekend with them. Because that would have given me like Thursday night, all day Friday, all day Saturday, and then I'll come back Sunday. Well, I had such a horrendous migraine, even on Thursday. Like I had a really gnarly migraine on Wednesday and I didn't get any packing done. And I had a really bad migraine on Thursday too. So it was a bad one, where I got home from work Thursday after lunch, or like at lunchtime. I came back and I laid down in bed. And normally if I'm like that, I can like lay down and it helps to significantly reduce the migraine. I laid down, and I ended up sleeping for like 2.5 hours. I just like conked out, and when I woke up, my migraine was actually worse than when I went to bed, which it was like, that was brutal. I took my whole like migraine cocktail. I was like, there's no way I can go drive across to the other side of the state, which realistically, it's only like a 2-hour and 15-minute drive. It's not like it's a super long drive to head over to my parents. So anyways, I ended up saying, well, I'll just have to go over Friday morning instead. So that's what I did. I ended up getting up and getting on the road, got there, you know, at like 11:30 Friday morning. And then my mom and I went and got groceries, and we stopped and we got food while we were in town for groceries. And then we kind of head back to the house, just kind of chilled, chillaxed, did some crafty stuff. I was working on diamond paintings, which you guys will see for tomorrow's video. I worked on 2 diamond paintings that are from a new to me small shop that I'm going to be showing in tomorrow's video. And then my mom was working on project bags. So she was making these, making project bags with some different fabrics. So different size project bags and accessory bags. So now I've got like all these bags. She's also going to be, she's also sponsoring the, my our event in August. So for CNI's event in August, which is the Fan Art Fest, which is where you get to do a diamond painting that's fan art of whatever it may be, whether it's a band, an artist, a actor, a TV show, whatever it is, manga, book, anime, it doesn't really matter. But as long as it's fan art of something, then you can do that canvas for the event. So that was something that my mom is making project bags that are going to be kind of like some themed project bags that are kind of like fan arty type stuff for the event. So we'll have those for giveaways. So she was making some of those for the event. But then I found this really cool fabric and brought it with me. It came in and I brought it with me and gave it to my mom to make me some project bags for me out of that fabric. And oh my gosh, I love it. She made me like 2 large project bags, which are like the 11 by 13 size. And then a medium one, and then, so it was like 2 larges, a medium, and a large accessory pouch, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, I love these so much. They are so awesome. So I'm super excited for the project bags that my mom made me. All those different bags, they're super awesome. But we did that, and then, my dad, when he got home from work, we just kind of chilled, had dinner, chatted, relaxed, and all of that fun stuff. Saturday for 4th of July, we ended up going over to some friends of theirs that they've known for years. So we went over to their friends of theirs house and did 4th of July over there. And it was warm. It was, it was 90s, but it was a hot 93. The sun was just like whoosh all over the sky. It was just, it was bright. So anyway, so we had that on, that was what we did yesterday for 4th of July. We had, the stereotypical 4th of July, hamburgers on the grill, hot dogs, coleslaw, French fries, there was a peach cobbler for dessert. So, literally, I don't know that you could get any more, classic, stereotypical, 4th of July at, small town 4th of July meal as what we had. It was funny. But yeah, and then we just kind of chilled at their house and chatted with them, and they're a sweet couple, a sweet older couple. They're maybe 10, I want to say that they're maybe about 10 years older than my parents. 70s, but they're super fun couple. And then after that, we were there for a little bit, and then I was like, hey, because we got there at 4, and I had told ahead of time, I'm like, we can't stay super late because I need to be able to, because my dad and the friend Max, they could literally be talking for hours, and next thing you know, it's midnight. They could literally talk for 8 hours straight. They're both talkers. So I was like, pre-stage, I was like, hey, look, we can't stay super long. We have to make sure we're back by 8:30, 9 o'clock. So that way I can give Mochi her food, because she can't go that long without having her soft food, because I don't want to run the risk of her getting hungry, throw up, because she's been doing really good lately about not getting sick. So it was all right, perfect. We can go ahead and we'll do that. So we ended up leaving around 8:15, 8:30ish. We left to come back over here. We left to go back to my parents' house, and then just kind of chilled, relaxed for the rest of the evening. My mom and I made some taro bubble tea as a after dinner snack. So we had that last night. And then we went back in, and I was just I'm tired. I don't feel like diamond painting. I had gotten half of my diamond painting done in a section on another one, and I was like, I'm tired. I don't feel like diamond painting. So I pulled out my cross stitch and did some work on my cross stitch, and my mom was working on another project bag, and then my dad was just kind of chillaxing, sitting there doing stuff on his phone in there. But yeah, we ended up doing that, and then once we finished, I feel like this road is deja vu. I feel like I've driven down this road before. I probably have. And then it was bedtime, and then after, so went to bed, and it was by the time they were done and everything, it was after midnight, and I was like, okay, I'm way too tired to try to film a WIP Chat. I didn't bring my filming stuff with me, so I would have had to use my mom's stuff. But I was like, I am way too tired to try to film a WIP Chat this late at night, so I will just have to. I was like, well, I could just get up early and do it, but yeah, that didn't happen. I woke up at like 7:30, which is super, super late for me. I don't sleep in that late very often. So yeah, I did not get a WIP Chat filmed, so that's why you guys are getting the vlog, because it was just go, go, go. And then today I had to make sure that I was back, so that way I had enough time to drop off the cats at the house and then pop over, and then I had to drive like half an hour to go look at a house for the occupational therapist that's going to be coming in soon. So the way the military tends to do it, if you're coming to a new command, you're assigned a sponsor. So this is the person, like the point of contact that you have if you have questions about the area, you need help, like with anything that you need help with as you start. We try to do whatever we can to help kind of like smooth the transition across. So I have a staff member that's coming in August, beginning of August. And you know, she's got 4 kids. She has like a 6-year-old, 4-year-old, 2-year-old, and then like a 3-month-old. So, you know, 4 kids, 2 dogs. So it's like finding housing has been the hard part for her. The houses on base, because originally she was going to live on base, but the houses on base are very much, you know, like much smaller. They're not, you know, sized well for, you know, a large family like that, to have everybody be able to have their space. So with that in mind, it was kind of one of those things where, you know, she's been trying to find housing for them and the family and everything. So there's this place that I'm going to look at it, because it's one thing to look at the pictures, because she was like, hey, would you mind terribly if I had you like go look at the house and like FaceTime me while you're looking at it? And I'm like, absolutely, 100%, because that's part of what I'm supposed to do as a sponsor. But also, the easier it is, like the more I help her and get her settled in, yes, it's work on my part, but at the same time, it means that she's able to, you know, get to work, and I need her to be able to actually work. So it cuts down on how much downtime she'll have trying to find the housing once she gets here. So that's what I'm working on, so that's what I'm driving down to, is to go look at a house for her. And once I get there, I will FaceTime her, and we'll look through the house. Let's see, I think that's the road that I want. And so it's like 25 minutes from my house. I think it's like 15-ish minutes or so from, 15-20 minutes from the hospital. It's not bad. So yeah, that is what I am up to, is looking at this place for her. So a nice little subdivision neighborhood. So yes, anywho, that's what I'm up to. I'm gonna look at this place for her, and let her know, and I'll FaceTime her and see what she thinks of it. But that we had to set it up for 1 o'clock today, so that's why I had to make sure I got home in time to drop off the cats, to then be able to leave and come over here to go look at this house for her. But yeah, anywho, I'll probably should call this first part of the video. It's gonna be a shorter WIP Chat / vlog for you guys, because I've got to, you know, I'll be only doing it while I drive, because I'll drive there and then I'll call you, or I will do more chatting as I drive back after I get all settled. Once I look at everything that we'll do that. We'll talk about diamond painting stuff on the second half of this video, because the first half of the video clip is going to be me just, you know, right now, like what I've done. It's a nice neighborhood. Some nice little houses, nice houses over right through here. I feel like this reminds me of the neighborhood that I went through for we did a chili cook-off at our executive officer's house, was it in the fall or something? I don't remember exactly when it was. Time runs together. I think it might have been back in like November, but before the holidays. Oh, look, they've got a pool, so they got the amenities, which, you know, if you've got lots of kids, can be nice. So anyways, I just have to get down into this house. It's like a lot of driving through the subdivision neighborhood area for this. But, you know, nice little area. Like, you can see all the houses that I'm driving past. But anyways, I am going to let you guys go, because I'm like a minute away from the house. So that way I can go take a look at everything and go from there. We will talk again in like seconds for you guys. All right. Successfully looked at the house. Well, sort of successfully looked at the house for her. The owner just got back in town, so this would be his first time getting back to seeing the house since the other tenants moved out. And apparently his keys are not working in the doors. And it's like, there's a code for the garage, but the code isn't working for the garage. And the tenant was like, I didn't change the code. And he's like, I have the keys for the house, but I can't get into the house. So we did like an exterior tour. And then, oh gosh, I have like a kink in my neck from all this driving today. So we did an exterior tour of the house, and then like put, the phone up so they could see kind of inside from the living room, or from like the slider view. And he's gonna call a locksmith to get into the house so he can get in today, to try to get in today to be able to, all of that stuff. But we at least got to, do a quick overview of the exterior of it and all of that. And now I can get back on the road and head back home, because I have been like going. And I just want to just sit and chill and not have to do anything. I'm debating, do I want to start a section on a new diamond painting? Or not a new diamond painting. I do need to film the rest of my video for tomorrow. I have to film I did an unboxing for Sparkle and Spuds, and I want to show, and then I worked on both of the kits that I got. I worked on both of those kits this weekend, so I need to film the portion talking about the kits that I've worked on and like my thoughts in that aspect, which will be the video that I put up for you guys for tomorrow, for Monday. So yes, that's what I need to do tonight. But then once I got that done, I can just chill and not have to, do anything else. So I'm just gonna relax. I'll watch some dramas and just kind of chill, take it easy a little bit for it, because it's hot. I do need to mow my lawn, but like I said, I don't think that's gonna happen today because of these rain clouds. They're chasing me, so the rain clouds are over here now. But yes, so we will see. But anywho, that's really all I've been up to for that. It's so funny. I'm like, okay, we're 5 days into July. We're going to see how July goes. If I can control myself and not have the massive number of diamond paintings that I got in June, in July. I know I'm going to get a number of diamond paintings in July because they were ones that I ordered earlier. So I think they're going to start arriving in July. But my goal is to not buy a bunch of things in July. So far, I'm at a net zero, and I laugh at that because I bought one of the Walmart Diamond Art Club canvases. I bought one of the Walmart ones. It was a little Thomas Kincaid landscape. I bought one at Walmart when I went with my mom on Friday, because it was like, it's one that I haven't seen anywhere else. It's one of their, Walmart exclusives. So I bought that on Friday. It's small. It's like, like a 30 by 40 size. And it's round, and it's a landscape. It's a pretty Thomas Kincaid landscape. So I got that one. It's a snacky landscape. But at the flip side of it, I brought one of the whips that I was doing, the water lilies from Letty Stitch. The water lilies, those ones I actually brought over for my mom because it's the perfect size. It's like a 40 by 50. It's like the perfect size. My mom loves that, like small size like that. So it's a perfect size. It's round, and she really likes the image. So I brought that over and gave that to my mom. So the flip side, this just like crouched up on me. There we go. That's better. So the flip side, yes, I bought a Thomas Kincaid, but I also gave my mom the Letty Stitch water lilies. So I'm still at a net zero. So yes, I got rid of one, but I accumulated one. So total so far to this point, I'm still sitting at zero, which is good. Now I need to try to like keep the number low, because I know I'm going to accumulate a bunch of kits over these next few weeks of ones that I've ordered, because they'll start coming in. But yes, I did not buy anything this weekend. I did not wish list anything this weekend. I'm super proud of myself for that. Which brings me to, how many of you guys are like huge Mandy Manzano fans? I know there's a bunch of people that are like rabid like Mandy Manzano fans. And it's like, I like some of her works, but then other pieces I'm just like, meh, it's okay. Because everybody has their different tastes and styles. I've done a few Mandy Manzanos, and I think I have one more in my hoard. I have Where the Fun Never Ends. But I've never actually seen one of the princess panels in person. But I know a lot of people that, like love the old princess panels. I've seen photos of the old princess panels, and now like one of the new releases from yesterday was was the first of the new style princess panels. So Mandy Manzano, in case anyone wasn't tracking, has revisited and repainted all of like her, and is working on repainting all of her princess panels because she wasn't happy with the artwork. And as an artist, you grow and you develop, and it's like your art changes from beginning to end. Like if you look at Yume and you look at Springbringer, which is the tiger and kind of like slinking through the water. If you look at that one, the one that Diamond Art Club released is an early version of it. She's repainted that same image, and it's like a night and day difference from the old one to the new one. And I really would love to see the new one in diamond painting form too. The old one is gorgeous and stunning, but the new one it's like you can see how much she's grown as an artist. So that's one of the things, the artists grow as, you know, that's just what happens. You grow as an artist. So that was something that Mandy Manzano has started coming out with these new princess panels. And I know the old princess panels were like all like huge rage. I know there's some of the ones that when they come across for resale, they're some of the highest priced canvases that you can get for a couple of the princess panels, or like usually you'll see them like $300 to $400 on resale. But anyways, with keeping all of that in mind, that's one of the things that really, if you're going to pull out in front of me, you need to actually pull out in front of me and speed up. Don't just pull out in front of me and go slow. That's just not going to fly. I think I'm about to run through another rain cloud, so if it gets too loud with the rain, I will stop and pause and skip ahead, because, you know, you guys have to actually be able to hear what I'm saying, and this is a good old rain cloud going on right now. So anyways, the new princess panels, they're really pretty, but I have to say, me personally, I think I prefer her art style of the old ones, and I like the fact that the eyes are all closed on the old ones. I don't like the open eyes of these new ones. I prefer the old ones. Okay, nobody's going, so I'm going. So I much prefer the old style. I don't know, there's something about them. I don't know. I like them better than these newer ones. The newer ones are pretty, but not my style. I do not own any princess panels, and I will probably never own any of the princess panels. They just have never appealed to me. I think I did the Queen Nefertiti. I did that one with specials. I enhanced it. And then I did the Magical Mama, which is like the unicorns. And then the only other one that I have, I think the only other Mandy Manzano that I have is Where the Fun Never Ends, which is, you know, that panel size, but that one is just so fun. It's so colorful, and that's, I think, the thing, is they're also colorful. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing it. I want to see what it looks like with drills down when somebody gets it, because those are huge. I think it's probably one of like the most expensive canvases I've seen is this new princess panel. I think it's like price was $100 or something like that. It's definitely pricey. Yeah. But anyways, I refrained from purchasing anything. I'm pleased with that. And yeah, that's really where we're at. As long as they don't put out any Yumeis, I can continue to wish list things and not purchase things. You can see all the rain out there now. And that's my goal, is to not purchase and to try to, you know, conserve and not have a bunch of canvases. It's like literally the rain cloud is directly above me. There's blue sky with white clouds to the right, blue sky with white clouds off towards the left past this gray rain cloud that's directly above me. So interesting how that works, you know, Florida. So yes, now anywho, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I know, yeah, I purchased that, or I didn't purchase anything, so that was good. I was able to practice restraint. There's some that are like, I've actually been doing, like, I've been very strict with myself with canvases, right? Like, it doesn't look like it when you see that I had 19 canvases in my last haul video. But when it comes to like the Diamond Art Club canvases, I've been very strict with myself lately, where I've actually like look at the canvas and I'm like, okay, one, do I love the artwork? If the answer is yes, okay, what is it a round or a square? If it's a round, then yeah, I'll buy it. Or I'll 100% put it on my wish list to buy at some point. And then I'm like, okay, it's a round, yep, good to go. And then if the answer is no, it's a square, then the question becomes, okay, do I like this enough to buy it as a square, which that then goes to the size of it. So that's when I'm like, okay, if it's a round, I don't care about the size. If it's a square, well, how big of a square is it? Is it a massive square? Is it a small square? Which size square it is. If it's like a 50 by 70 square, or like the 55 by 73 or whatever, then I'm like, okay, that's one that I can put on my wish list. If it's like a 65 by like 90 something, or like the 70 by 100 size, then that's when I'm like, okay, do I actually like this enough to work on it knowing it's this big? And 9 times out of the 10, unless it's a Yume, the Yume's, yes, I will. Unless it's a Yume, the question, or the answer to that question is usually, no, not really. So if it's a big one, then I find myself not bothering to put it on my wish list, even if I really, really love the artwork. And then also on top of that, I'm like, okay, I love the artwork. The size point is where I want it, but what is the color palette? Is this like a mostly browns? Is it a lot of orange, reds? What is the color palette for this? Is this a color palette that I'm going to find myself actually enjoying working on? And if I kind of find myself going, well, hemming and hawing, that's a sign that no, I will not like it. So that's a sign to not even bother putting it on my wish list. Because that's what, like, a good chunk of the kits that I've pulled out from my hoard over the last month or so are some of them that I love the artwork. I love the artwork, love the image, but they're typically ones that they're large squares, and I'm like, okay, I don't see myself really enjoying that color palette. I love the image, I love the artwork, but with that size point, the color palette is just not something that's like screaming at me. So that's when I went ahead and kind of give it some thought, and that's how I ended up pulling a good number of these kits out of my hoard, because I'm like, I'm not going to enjoy it, so why have these kits that I'm not going to enjoy when I could, just save my money for something that I will enjoy more. And I have enough kits in my hoard that I love that I don't have room to do things that don't bring me joy. So that's like my big thing right now is like, if I will find myself actually enjoying working on this kit, then yes, it's something that I would buy, or at least I'll put on my wish list, because I'm trying to just buy the Yumeis right now. Realistically, the Yumeis and the Lyubkas. So that's where I stand in that aspect. Ugh, the sun coming out while I'm on this bridge has some really bright light, so we're gonna put my sunglasses on. And yes, this is a pair of like super cheap, kind of like the novelty stores cheapness of sunglasses. They're like a super cheap basic pair. I think this was like the door prize for a party. I think was this the Navy ball? This is the Navy birthday ball 3 years ago, the 247th, and this year was the 250th. So this was 3 years ago's Navy ball. This was their like free door prize, or not door prize, but they're like, your gift that you get. We always end up getting some kind of gift. Ooh, bouncy road. And that was the gift, was the sunglasses, which they're my car sunglasses. They live in my car, and I use them in my car, and they work great. I've had no issues with them as sunglasses. So yeah. So anywho, that's where I kind of stay. So I got they worked out great, like, as sunglasses. They're my car sunglasses, because then I don't have to worry about nice sunglasses melting in the heat. And these have held up to, the 120 degree outdoor temperature, which means like the 30 to 140 degree inside temperature of my car. They've held up really well, and you would never know that they're like 3 years old. So those are my car sunglasses. Other than that, I'm just, cruising back to the house. So it's kind of funny that we couldn't get into the house, because it's like, he's like, his code didn't work for the garage, so he went and got a new battery, because he was like, okay, well, maybe he just needs a new battery. So he got a new battery and put that in, and he said that still didn't work. And the keys, he's like, I know these are the keys to this house, but the keys did not work. They worked on like the back sun, like Florida room is what they call it, which basically is like what we would consider a sun porch in like the rest of, you know, at least where I grew up in the Midwest, we would call it a sun porch. But they call it a Florida room here. Essentially, it's a sun porch. He's like, his keys worked on the Florida room to open that, but didn't work on the front door. Didn't work on the actual, like, couldn't get in on the slider or anything like that. So it was basically, it was one of those things where he was just like, yeah. So he has to call the owner of the house that I looked at. He has to go get a locksmith to get him into the house, since the code isn't working and his keys aren't working. So yeah, but anywho, that's really where it's at. I really want to see this month my number of kits that I have actually going down, and I think if I can like finish some things, that will definitely help. So I want to like actually make some really good progress on my 26 for 26. So I've technically met the challenge and like accomplished the challenge, which was to have 26 drills down on 26 canvases, which I did that. Check, done. So now I'm like taking it that next step further, and I'm like, okay, I need to do I need to finish those 26 canvases. I would be further along on finishing those 26 canvases if I stopped working on other canvases. So I have finished 3 additional kits that are not part of my 26 for 26, and I have drills down on 4 more that are not part of my 26 for 26. That's like 7 additional canvases. I'm like, come on, this is not even part of my 26 for 26. Why am I doing this to myself? So I really need to focus on finishing, like working on my 26 for 26 and starting to get some more finishes. So I'm hopeful that I'll have a few of those that I'll be able to finish this month, and that'll speed up the rest of them. So I've got 21 left to finish, and they all have drills down on them, and they're in varying degrees of finished. Some of them have only got like, you know, a small section done, like 2 sections done. Others only have 1 section left for me to do to finish the entire canvas. So it really just depends on the level of where it's at. So yeah, that's basically, I just need to start working on these other 21 canvases and continue pushing and making progress. But I think I've got like 4 or 5 of them, well maybe 3 or 4 that only have like a section left. Almost all of the canvases are at least a quarter of the way done, but as I start doing more of them, then I'll remove them from my whip wheel, which means then I will go through them faster rather than at the pace that I've been doing. So I'll be able to go through them faster, and I want to try to get at least some of them finished for the 26 for 26, my mid-month review, because I'm going to be doing that mid-month review for you guys, showing where I'm at. I'm not going to show, you know, the ones that I had finished that you guys saw in the last update, but this month I will do like okay, hey, this is what I've finished since our last update, and this is where we stand on the rest of our whips, so you guys can kind of get an idea of like, this is the progress, which that would put us at, I think we've already looked at like, what was it, 3 completions is what we saw last month, and I completed, or 3 completions is what we saw in the June video. But now that for my July video, I will definitely have 2 completions that I finished in June, but it was like, you know, Mine and Shine, and then Fushimi and Ari that were not done at the time of the last video that I will actually be able to showcase in this one. But that'll be like the middle of the month to show that off. Other than that, oh gosh, what else? I don't know if there's really much else that I've got going on. I'm almost back to my exit. I think I'm like another exit to go. I do need a drink because I've been talking. Ooh, I need to add some water to that. Actually, I'll just add some more ice cubes when I get home. but I'm a sucker for the pineapple mango lemonade from Wendy's. So if I do eat fast food, I tend to eat Wendy's is the primary fast food. That if I'm gonna have something fast food wise, and I can choose what fast food I'm gonna eat, I'll do Wendy's, because it's like their burger, their junior bacon cheeseburger is the perfect size. It's not a massive burger. It's a nice small burger, perfect size, really. And I usually end up with that junior bacon cheeseburger. I do like a biggie bag, so I get the junior bacon cheeseburger, the French fries, and the 4-piece nugget, and then I'll get the pineapple mango lemonade instead of just like a pop. I don't do pop. And then it usually covers me for like 2 meals, because I'll eat the fries and the nuggets immediately, and then I'll have the burger for like my second meal later on. So that's how I do it. And then I've got, the lemonade that I'll drink on for the rest of that day. I do need to add, they make it super strong, which is perfect. I like a super strong one, but it just means I need to add some more ice to it to kind of cut it, because it's so sugary, sweet, strong. So I do need to do that. I don't know. I thought I stopped my GPS from going, but apparently it's still going. Okay. I thought I could turn you off, because I'm like, I know how to get to my house from here. I just needed to get from the house that I was looking at to the main highway, and then I know where to go. But now once I'm on the main highway, I know exactly how to get to my house. So anyways, that was the excitement of today. I feel bad for, for me, I'm like, yeah, I drove all the way over there, but at least, we got to see the outside of the house. She could see it. The neighborhood looked really good driving through, and it was a nice little neighborhood. And I think once the owner gets into the house, he's going to FaceTime her directly to get into it, to take her in through the inside of the house, which that means I don't have to make another trip over there, but, I wouldn't mind. That's what I'm here to do, is help her out however she needs. And it wasn't that far of a drive. It was like 25 minutes. If I had actually been thinking while I was on that side of the bridge, I could have gone over to some shops. But granted, I was on the south, there, and the shops that I would want to go to are up there. So really, it wouldn't have mattered. Wouldn't have mattered either way. Oh my goodness, I'm so tired of talking. So, yes, tired of talking. I feel like I've been talking for forever. It hasn't been that long, really. I didn't bother showering this morning. I showered since, I am freshly showered right now. But I did not shower first thing this morning when I was at my parents' house, because I was just like, well, that's 30 minutes that I could be spending. Well, not really. It's 10 minutes. I don't take very long in the shower. So that's 10 minutes that I could be spending with them before I leave. So I ended up not, because I was like, oh, I'm just going to be, it's not like I'm doing anything or going anywhere majorly or anything like that. Somebody tried to stop quickly. So I ended up, but I got home and I was like, okay, I'm just feeling like my hair gets so greasy so quickly. And I was just like, you know what? I feel like I need a shower. So I went ahead and did take a shower after I got home, after I dropped off the cats. So it was a much quicker turnaround. And when I saw how long it would take me to get over to this house, it was 25 minutes. I was like, I got home at 11:30. And I just had to be there at 1 o'clock. And I was like, I got plenty of time. I don't even need to leave until I left at 12:20 because I can't not get somewhere super early. But I was like, well, I got plenty of time for it, which I totally did. So, because I got there at 12:50 for a 1300 meeting. So, but yeah, I was like, I had plenty of time, and I ended up taking a shower. So that way I was freshly showered, and I'm glad I did. I just felt better having that fresh shower in time for the video. I am glad that I missed my neighbors right across from me shooting off fireworks. There's firework residue in my driveway, but I saw the carcasses of all of their used fireworks boxes, and these are the big fireworks setups that they had lining their side of the road. And I was just I was like, it's still, yes, we've been having more rain, but it's still relatively dry. I would not have been one to shut off fireworks. But yeah, normally the cats are like, holy crap, what's going on, when the neighbors shut off fireworks, because they're so close. All right, I am now home. So that concludes that basically concludes our vlog for you guys, because We're at like 50-ish minutes or thereabouts. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed, my car ramblings of me just aimlessly doing, stream of consciousness as I drive. And that's really all I have for you guys for today. Next week will be an actual for real WIP Chat. I promise. But have a great day, everybody. Bye.